Now, I don't know about you, but I've got a feeling that Game Week 12 is going to be a really popular time for FPL managers to use their free hit. And I know I'm certainly thinking about it as well. And what I'm going to do in this video is talk you through my favourite free hit team. Alright, so we're going to start by looking at some defensive projections first. What I've got here is some projected clean sheet odds courtesy of Solio. I'll leave a link to Solio in the description below. Now, Arsenal have got 44% chance of keeping a clean sheet, right? But they play Tottenham, and I just have a feeling that Tottenham could score. And I think it's an opportunity, if you're on free hit, to hedge against the general meta of FPL at the moment, right? And most people in FPL have a number of Arsenal defenders. And when you look at the fixtures that some other teams have got and the clean sheet odds here, there are a number of other teams that run them close for clean sheet odds, right? You've got Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United, Fulham, Crystal Palace, Bournemouth, all with decent clean sheet odds as well. So there definitely will be some Arsenal defensive coverage in this free hit team, no doubt about it. But I do think there is a case, you know, the opportunity I think you get on your free hit to hedge against these popular FPL options, I'm going to take it with this team. So, again, I'll just think the other teams I like the look of, definitely Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United, Fulham, Crystal Palace, Bournemouth. All of those teams will be in contention for a place in this free hit team. Now, beyond that, obviously, talking about defences, we need to pick a goalkeeper. We've got Solio projections here in terms of predicted points. I'm looking at David Raya, who is now 5.9 million with 4.31 predicted points. Now, David Raya, as we know, is a goalkeeper that generally only scores points if Arsenal keep a clean sheet. They've got good odds, but at the same time, I could see Tottenham scoring against them. I really could. Sanchez is second, 3.95. You've got Leno at 5 million, 3.82. You can see the rest of the keepers there. The two I like, Sanchez and Petrovic, right? Sanchez at 4.8 million and Petrovic a little bit cheaper, slightly smaller expected points, but he's only 4.5 million. I think you're kind of getting what you pay for with both of them. The one thing I would say, well, I guess Chelsea have kept a clean sheet against Wolves. Bournemouth have just conceded 4 goals to Villa. But I think it's important to, when you're picking players in FPL, it's important not to just focus on the last game week. It's just too short-term thinking for me to let, you know, Bournemouth conceding 4 goals to Aston Villa in one game week put me off ever picking their assets, if that makes sense. So the goalkeeper decision for me is between Sanchez and Petrovic. Now, I think I'm going to go with Petrovic, but Sanchez is a very good option as well. I've gone for Petrovic, to be honest, to try and save money because I want to build a free hit team that's affordable for everyone. And I'm going to talk about the assets that I'll pick and also their alternatives in this video because, you know, there are multiple assets for each position you could pick. I'm trying to be inclusive of all of them to try and give you the best help I can for a free hit team. So that's goalkeepers decided, one of Sanchez or Petrovic. Defenders then, well, Gabriel is the number one, 5.2 predicted points for him. Lacroix and Senesi close behind him. Then you got Timber, Saliba, Van Dijk, Calafiori, Chris Richards, Truffert, Anderson and Munoz. Now, like I said, free hitting in Game Week 12 is an opportunity to hedge against the Arsenal defenders. One Arsenal defender I definitely wouldn't want to hedge against, though, is Gabriel. So he makes the team. But Senesi, I really like for his security of DEFCON points. I also really like Chris Richards. There's a number of other defenders on this list that I like that I want to include in the team as well. What I've gone for then with this team, I've gone for Petrovic in goal, Gabriel and Virgil van Dijk alongside Senesi. Now, Senesi, he's got West Ham at home. They have just conceded 4 goals to Aston Villa of Bournemouth. That's an away from home fixture for them. I just think at home they are decent defensively. But if you don't like the Bournemouth defence and don't want to pick them, that's fine. I think I've given you some alternatives. I'd hedge against Senesi probably with a Chris Richards or a Lacroix. And I'd hedge against Petrovic with a Sanchez, I think, as well. And maybe you could go for Raya, to be honest, if you could afford him. But I've tried to make this team as, you know, affordable as possible. And then I've gone for Van Dijk. He has, I'm pretty sure he's just scored. I'm recording this video as the Man City game is going on. And I'm pretty sure, yes, he has just... Oh, no. I think he must have had the goal in the back of the net, but it was disallowed. They're 2-0 down now. I wouldn't let the Man City result, again, similar to what I'm saying about Bournemouth losing 4-0 to Villa, I wouldn't let one result against Man City put me off. I do think they got a good opportunity against Nottingham Forest. It's a good fixture where they can keep a clean sheet. Van Dijk is one of the best defenders in the game for DEFCON as well. And he, of course, offers some real goal threat too. So, yeah, that would be the defence. On the bench, you don't need to go expensive in my mind with a bench on the free hit, because I can pretty much back all of these players to play. And to be honest, the bench players I've got haven't got terrible fixtures. So we've got Dubravka, who is just the bench goalkeeper, isn't he, at 4 million. Rodon and Mukiele, I think, are my two standout cheap defenders. Mukiele's got Fulham away, so that's a perfectly respectable fixture if one of these guys needs to come in. Rodon as well. And then I've just gone super cheap in terms of my forward to make this team as affordable as possible with Mark Gu. Just going to quickly interrupt the video, if you don't mind, to talk about the FPL Cartel. Myself and my very good mate FPL Tom have started the FPL Cartel, and it's a members-only area where you get yourself an exclusive weekly podcast with the both of us. All of that is managed in a private Discord, so when you join the FPL Cartel, you'll get access to this Discord, and then the podcast link will be shared only with Discord members. Yeah, on that private Discord, you have both me and Tom, and we've already got a nice bustling community in there. You'll get direct access to the two of us throughout the week, pre and post deadline, to talk about your FPL teams, and we'll do a members-only mini-league with prizes as well. So the FPL Cartel, you can sign up to that using the link at the top of the description below. As the Liverpool-Man City game goes on, this decision is looking more and more controversial, I would say, but the reason that you're using your free hit, Ryan, we're going to get onto midfielders and forwards now. The reason in my mind that you're playing your free hit is down to the fixtures that are occurring in Game Week 12, right? We've got Man City away at Newcastle. And I think playing away at St James's Park for any team is a really, really difficult fixture. And one, even though they're not great away from home this season, they've lost 2 on the bounce away from home. I don't really care about their away from home form. I just have a feeling that Newcastle can genuinely beat and keep a clean sheet against anyone at St James's Park. Now, that is a tall order against Erling Haaland. Don't get me wrong. I'm not dissing Erling Haaland. He's my captain this week. He scored already against Liverpool and missed a penalty, so there's an opportunity already for him to have had a brace in that game. But I do think there is a St James's Park factor, which leads me to ask the question, is Haaland the best captain? And if you don't think he is the best captain, which I'm not 100% sure he is, that's obviously leading you onto your free hit. And I would say, looking at the rest of the players in the game, Liverpool at home to Nottingham Forest leads me to believe that Salah could well be the best captain. He's certainly the best alternative to Haaland, I think, in Game Week 12. It's just a question of whether you think he's the best captain. But that's the whole reason, in my mind, you'd use your free hit in Game Week 12, right? To hedge against the captaincy of Erling Haaland. And on a 1-week punt, on a 1-week free hit, bring in Salah to captain, right? So I just wanted to cover that quickly when talking about the forwards and midfielders, because this is the reason you're playing your free hit, in my mind. So we've got here then top expected points for midfielders. Obviously top is Mo Salah, closely followed by Bruno Fernandes and Saka, who are joint on the same expected points, which is interesting. Man United have got Everton at home. Semenyo and Mbeumo are just below those. And we've got Cunha, Trossard, Sarr, Szoboszlai, Enzo Fernandez and Eze up there as well. Just an idea of the top players for predicted points in that midfield spot. For me, my top picks, probably Salah, Bruno Fernandes. It's hard to squeeze all of these players in and get Saka. So I like Saka, don't get me wrong. But I just think compared to other players, he's a little bit too expensive for the points he could provide. I like Semenyo. He's been off the ball a little bit recently, but they've got a good fixture to Bournemouth, West Ham at home. I think it's a really good opportunity for him to bounce back and hopefully get a goal again. I really like the form that Mbeumo's in at the moment. I think he's going to cause Everton some problems. I think I'd go with him. And Szoboszlai as well. He's obviously not done so well against Man City so far, but he's been racking up the attacking returns recently in recent games. His DEFCON numbers are really good. He's going to play definitely for Liverpool. Takes free kicks as well. I like him as an option. I like Szoboszlai as an option. And you look at the rest of the sort of 6-ish million midfielders, a lot of people are going to have Sarr, a lot of people are going to have Enzo. Not so many are going to have Szoboszlai. And again, I think I spoke about this when I talked about the defence. But the free hit, it gives you an opportunity to pick players that sort of are slightly against the grain, but still good options, you know, that you wouldn't ordinarily pick for the long term. You get 1 week where you could get away with picking them. And I think, well, it's not necessarily getting away with picking Szoboszlai, but I think you know what I mean. I think it's a week where you could go for him. You could probably guess the players that I'm going for in the midfield as a result, but we're going for a 5 of Salah, Semenyo, Bruno Fernandes, Mbeumo and Szoboszlai. What I'm quite liking about this team at the moment is that every player is playing at home so far. That's quite satisfying to see. But yeah, Salah at home to Forest. I think he's probably the best captain for the week. Semenyo at home to West Ham. Bruno Fernandes and Mbeumo at home to Everton. I think they could have some joy in that game. And Szoboszlai from Liverpool, obviously, at home to Forest. I think that's a pretty strong midfield. So, on to the forwards then. And we've got the Solio data again. Top predicted points for forwards. Again, if you're free hitting in Game Week 12, it suggests to me that you're probably not going to want Haaland in your team. Haaland does not feature in this free hit team. I think the whole point of playing it is that for 1 week only, you want to hedge against Erling Haaland, right? So we've not got Haaland in this team. Outside of him, the top strikers are Isak, but I'm not necessarily sure you can predict his minutes. And, well, you can see by my team, I've already got 3 Liverpool players. Mateta and João Pedro. I like both of these guys. They've both got good fixtures. Mateta plays Wolves. João Pedro plays Burnley. Gyökeres could be good if he's back fit. Igor Thiago of Brentford. I'll probably cover him on my transfer plans video because he is a player that I'm really liking the look of at the moment. And I would suggest is probably doing better than some of the midfielders at his price point. So you look at the likes of Enzo Fernandez, Iliman Ndiaye is probably actually decent, but Ismaila Sarr, Thiago is doing better than all of them, and he's the same price. It's almost like he's changing the meta of the game again to be 3 up front. Muniz, Watkins, Welbeck, and Sesko are the other top forwards. For me, if I'm not going for Haaland, well, I have to pick Mateta and João Pedro, don't I? Both away, but they've got 2 of the best fixtures I think you could ask for. Mateta away at Wolves, João Pedro away at Burnley. I think this is a pretty good 11, isn't it? I've done this in Fantasy Football Hub, so all of the predicted points you're seeing in front of the players comes from Fantasy Football Hub. With Salah as your captain, this team, according to Fantasy Football Hub, there's a link, by the way, to sign up to Fantasy Football Hub in the description. You see all of this kind of graphics. If you watch any of my content, you see all of this graphics in there, so this is, not news to you, but Fantasy Football Hub, if you want to use this yourself for building a free hit team, you can. Link at the top. Well, I think it'd be second in the description behind the cartel. It has a 97% AI rating and a 100.2 million team value. So I think pretty much everyone watching this video should be able to afford this team. So much so that most people should be able to afford a little bit more than this team allows. So you might be able to upgrade maybe Senesi. You might be able to upgrade maybe Szoboszlai. I mean, if you've got enough cash in the bank, Semenyo or Mbeumo to Saka could be a play. And if you're a bit short for cash and still can't quite afford it, then dropping some Senesi to someone like Chris Richards, or you could obviously, thinking of an upgrade again, you could obviously go Petrovic, maybe even up to David Raya if you've got the cash, or maybe just up to Rob Sanchez, something like that. But I think there's flexibility with a few players in this team, but I think you get a sense of the core structure by what I've been saying in terms of players to target. So, yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? It's hard to hedge against Haaland. I'm not saying that, I'm totally against it and I'm 100% locked into doing this myself. You'll hear more about my plans in my transfer plans video that will come out tomorrow. But it's definitely an option, I think. I'm looking at future game weeks and I'm not necessarily seeing many times where I would definitely want to use the free hit. Game week 12, particularly with a triple captain in hand, which I'll probably use on Haaland in game week 13. Game week 12 provides an opportunity to use that free hit, and you can build a pretty tidy team with it, with players that I won't necessarily want to own long term, if that makes sense. Your Virgil van Dijks, your Salahs, your Mbeumo, Szoboszlais, they're not necessarily in my team at the moment, and I think using your free hit, it provides an opportunity to bring them in, basically. So yeah, let me know what you think of the team and any changes you'd make to it in the comments. Alright, well, that is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed that and found it useful. If you did, please leave me a like rating. Let me know in the comments if you're also thinking about using your free hit in Game Week 12. I can't imagine I'm alone in that. I don't necessarily, me and FPL Tom are pretty close, obviously we're working together on the cartel, but I don't necessarily watch a whole lot of other FPL content just because I spend all my time making my own to know what other people are doing. But this is what's going through my mind at the moment. I don't think it's a terrible shout. Obviously, you're hedging against Haaland, who is just an absolute robot this season. That is the risk that you're taking with it. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you'd make any changes to the team and if you'd free hit in Game Week 12 as well. And yeah, I guess if you haven't already, I was just going to finish off. Subscribe to the Golden Goal channel, which should be just here on your screen. And yeah, I think that's everything. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you on Monday for my next video, which will be my transfer plans. See you in the next one.